Alright, I got the games I forgot. Let's try this again.
Video game world attacked by a goose. Beep boop beep boop, I wanna be there with you.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Jaunty Adventures. I'm Julia, and this is my show where I talk about the cute side of gaming. Today we are doing something that's been pretty requested. For me, I don't have the best engagement. And that is my Switch collection. I'm actually splitting this up into two videos, one of which is going to come out next week. So if you want to see my digital Switch collection, please subscribe so you get notified when that comes out. And if you're watching this past when it's already come out, I should have a link somewhere up here or down here. So without further ado, let's get started on my Switch collection. So I have this video broken into a couple sections. They should be chapters, again, down there. I'm gonna do, first of all, my indie games, then my AAA, and then talk about my Pokemon collection. I'm also gonna show you at the end my Switch and some of my accessories and some other miscellaneous stuff that I thought went with this collection. So let's get started with my first section, and that's gonna be indie games. Is a collection that I share with my boyfriend. We do live together, so we have kind of one big collection. And even before we lived together, we traded games around, which is to bring me to the first indie game I think I played on Switch, which is Yonder, the Cloudcatcher Chronicles. This is a really great game that I don't think has enough fans, honestly, especially in the cozy game community. This game looks a bit like Breath of the Wild, but a lot more colorful, and it's kind of a big open world that you get to explore to kind of further a fun plot, and to mostly just to get to explore the world and meet a bunch of characters. You gather adorable kitty cats, you can build a farm, and then the aesthetic is really cute. I might have some footage around for some of these games, especially the indies that people are less familiar with. My light is freaking out. So this game is super cute. It is Breath of the Wild inspired, but like cuted up to 11. You get to search for cats. There's kind of an overarching plot that has you exploring the land and meeting like giant moths and a witch island where it's Halloween, and just, yeah, you build a farm, you collect clothes. It is just so cute. I absolutely adore this game. I don't think it gets enough attention, and if you like cozy games and stuff like Stardew Valley or Animal Crossing, Yonder, the Cloudcatcher Chronicles is definitely something to check out. This studio does have a new game that's just come out and is on my wish list, and might be something that I'm gonna cover more in the future, so again, stay tuned for that. Speaking of my boyfriend's games, this is Dead Cells. I've really only seen him play it. I got it for him for, I think, Valentine's Day. Yeah, it's rogue like Castlevania, kind of Souls-inspired. Really cool, like 3D pixel-inspired aesthetic, like really retro 80s, and the 3D modeling technique where kind of like Donkey Kong Country, the Super Nintendo games. So it is brought down to pixel art, and it came with a really cute art book. So you can see the animation style in that. Just a little bonus. I think it's so cute when indies do that. I wish Nintendo would step up a little bit in that front, but it just makes them all the more special and a really fun thing that I've been enjoying collecting a lot. Next one, I was bad. I've got an unopened copy of Katamari Damacy Reroll. I've been trying not to rebuy too many indies that I've already played, since, as you will see in this video, I've got just the worst backlog right now. But this one I made an exception for. It's one of my absolute favorites. I didn't get the chance to play these because I was a Nintendo kid, and it was always on PlayStation. So I've sunk tons and tons of hours into this. I want all of it remastered. I want more. I just love this, and I love how important it is in kind of the history of indie games, and especially like the cute and cozy games that I really like. I feel like this is the forefather of even like Untitled Goose Game and all the other just chaotic fun indies that have really been blossoming on the Switch. kind of owe a lot to Katamari Damacy, so I wanted to have it on my shelf. The next game I've got is Chris Tales. This is a really interesting one. It's a turn-based RPG with this beautiful 2D art style and kind of a time-traveling plot. I think a lot like the original Chrono Trigger, or at least kind of inspired by that. Nothing as in-depth or anything, I don't think. I haven't gotten that far into it, but I keep meaning to sit down with it. Your ambassador, or like your mentor, kind of like your fairy character in some games, is this frog in a top hat. So already 10 out of 10. It's got really cool like visual design and all of that, and I'm excited to sink some more hours into this. Next is Yoku's Island Express. I'm gonna cover this game more in the future. My mom actually bought it for me from the game shop that I like, the little record store independent place by my apartment, and it is a it is a Metroidvania pinball platformer, and I kept hearing things about it, and I was like, that seems weird, and then my mom's like, if you want to do a video on it, I'll buy it for you because of its cute little bug guy. I know you like that kind of stuff, so I gave it a chance, and it is so much fun. You don't think that any of those things work together, and then I was playing it, and I was like, this is honestly the, like, evolved, kind of cozy pinball experience that I've been dying for. Like, I did not know how much I wanted. You know how platformers get to really evolve out of their arcade days? I feel like I was realizing how much I wanted to see that evolution in pinball and haven't before. It is just, the movement physics make it so much fun just to get around this game. I got hopelessly lost and have been a little bit frustrated with it, but I'm gonna sit down with it real soon because it is so much fun. It's got a great soundtrack, and I'm gonna hash it out and get a video out about Yoku's Island Express because I do not think the cozy scene has found this game yet, and it is an absolute delight. I would say this is one that I would recommend to anybody. If you're more into cozy games, you'll like it for, like, it's really, really cute. It's pretty relaxed, especially depending on how you want to play it, and it's got, like, just a good vibe. But if you're more into hardcore games, if you're a little bit more on the Metroidvania side, I think you would still really enjoy this game. It's got a Cthulhu monster who's friendly, and really, really great mechanics that I think you could get pretty in-depth into if you wanted to, and it has challenge in places if you seek it out, so I would say anybody watching this, you will probably like Yoku's Island Express. Seriously, check it out. Next on my list is Spiritfarer. This is another one that my mom got me. It has a little bit of a sad story to it. I picked it out as one of my Christmas gifts last year, or this Christmas, and my mom put it away for me, and unfortunately in between my mom putting it away and actually Christmas Day, my dad died, so I hadn't been feeling Spiritfarer. I thought maybe I would want it right away, and it just felt a little bit too gentle for having gone through like a big shock. For those of you who don't know, this is a game that's a cozy management sim about death. You are kind of the ferry master of the deceased, I'm reading on the back, and you build things on your boat and go on little quests to ferry people into the afterlife. It is another game that's probably going to join my secret upcoming video of Ghibli-inspired games, cozy ones for Switch, because it's got a beautiful piano soundtrack and like a hand-drawn feel. It is very much a cozy game. It's all vibes, it's very chill. You can go fishing, you can grow things, and you have to kind of face the afterlife. So I've been playing this a little bit now with a little bit more time, but it's definitely something that I'm taking my time with. Here's another game that's all vibes. This is Sayonara Wild Hearts. For those of you who don't know, this is supposed to be like a music video experience. It's definitely arcade inspired, kind of an auto runner that's mostly focused on visuals. Here's another one that's definitely gonna have footage somewhere around here because it is a lot of visuals. In my notes for this game, I called it Indie Bitch Sonic the Hedgehog because it's very much got those vibes. Like, it is a game focused on movement, on replaying so that you begin to learn these set pieces and these things that are supposed to like look really cool, and it's got very different vibe than Sonic the Hedgehog, but I think it is aiming for the same things, or at least from what I hear people talk about Sonic the Hedgehog. Definitely aiming for that sense of mastery and movement and flow, as well as a heavy emphasis on spectacle and like music that's supposed to make you feel things. This is about a young woman overcoming a broken heart through kind of weird interpretive visuals, and it is narrated by Queen Latifah, who kills it. So if you don't know Sayonara Wild Hearts and any of that sounds cool, definitely one I recommend. I've sunk a bunch of time into this one, and it definitely needs a replay for me now. Then last is Killer Queen Black. I bought this on impulse because it had a snail on the back, basically. Just that. And I don't love competitive games, as you can see kind of by my choices of games and my general cozy vibes, but this one was pretty fun. I played it a little bit. I got a snail victory, and it doesn't make you go into voice chat, so you can just sort of feel it out. And it's pretty fun. I wish it had a single player mode, because I think I would really enjoy that. As a little bonus, it also came with these adorable Joy-Con stickers. That just makes them even more fun little collector pieces, and I think they add so much to my collection. I love finding indie games out in the stores, and I try to support them whenever possible. And now let's move on to Nintendo games. As I said, this is a joint collection, so this is actually my boyfriend's copy of Monster Hunter Rise. For those of you who watched my 3DS video, you know that I am far too soft for Monster Hunter, because hurting dinosaurs is kind of upsetting. It also seems a little grindy for me, honestly, but yeah, I've got this around in case, you know, I ever feel some violent impulses I need to work through, which I do sometimes, okay? His copy of Spyro, of the Ignited Trilogy. I've only played one Spyro game. I used to have one for my GameCube. I don't think it's around anymore. I think it was Enter the Dragonfly, and I liked it alright. I think this game looks great. I've heard really good things about it, and it's definitely something I'm gonna check out in the future. This game, how my physical collection seems to be showing a lot of my backlog, which includes Metroid Dread. I played about 6 hours of Dread. I really like it. I put it down and then was scared to go back to the controls because I felt like it would just be a steep learning curve, so I've gotta face it and go back to it. I had just finished Hollow Knight, which is so good, and I think that I wasn't quite ready to pick up another big Metroidvania to like butt up against, but seeing it now, I'm like, oh man, why did I put down Dread? Dread is so good, so definitely something I'm about to go back to. Other games that I put down for reasons kind of lost to me is Hyrule Warriors. What I really like about this game is that it's a sequel to Breath of the Wild, or prequel rather. Breath of the Wild is one of my favorite games, and this uses its same kind of art and art style and places, and you get to see them before the big calamity and kind of an alternate universe. It's fun, it's interesting, it's something I should go back to, definitely a podcast game for me. So when I find another series I really want to go to, I might throw this on and grind out some levels. Someday I'm going to get out my cozy games for fall video. Someday, maybe this fall, maybe I'll start working on it now. This is definitely a great fall game. I like pulling it out right before Halloween. I am way worse at it than I think any other YouTuber. Everybody else is like, this game is so easy, and then I just get like stuck on bosses for no reason. I think I'm bad at the controls, whatever. I'll work through it someday. I love Guiji. I love the animation in this game. It is so perfect. It looks great. The locations are really interesting, and it's just got great kind of spoopy vibes that I appreciate. This was, I believe, actually my boyfriend's roommate's game. So Andrew, if you're watching this, sorry, we have your copy of Mario Odyssey, let us know. But thank you for letting us all play it, because it's a ton of fun. I haven't gotten that much through this one again. I need to schedule time with all of my backlog instead of just playing Animal Crossing and getting videos out. Maybe I'll do a video on my backlog. I don't know. Let me know. But this game is great. It's super cute. It's really well done. Obviously, it is a system seller. You don't need me to sell you on Mario Odyssey, but we do have a physical copy of it. Speaking of system sellers, my copy of Animal Crossing. This one I pre-ordered when everybody went into lockdown, and it got like genuinely thrown at my door on its release day by a Amazon worker who I appreciate with all of my heart, because while I was a little bit scared about getting my heart broken like I had with the Pokemon games, we'll get to it, I decided I would even buy it on pre-order, even though I try not to do that too often before I see reviews. And I was not disappointed. I love this game. It is the game I spent the most time on. If you follow me on Twitter, you know that. I still play a lot of it. I've done a couple videos on it. Tom Nook is floating behind me. Huge fan of Animal Crossing. I know this game's a little more controversial, definitely has its flaws, but I just love its customizations so much that it is my absolute comfort game right now. As I said, I'm having a hard time right now, going through a lot of grief, so sometimes when I don't want to like grind out levels or get lost in tunnels in dread and I need a break from the world, I've just been playing a ton of Animal Crossing and listening to podcasts and just unwinding. And it's been a ton of fun to get to share it with all of my Twitter followers, so that's been a very good time for me. Finally, I've got Ring Fit Adventure. This is one that I fortunately bought right before I went into lockdown, when I still could go to a mall. I work in a mall now, but could go to the mall with my mom right before everything closed down, and we didn't know it yet, so that memory really stands out. I do still have its full big box. I definitely needed to get back on this game. It was something that I really liked in quarantine because anxiety and lack of exercise should never mix. So I was very, very happy that I got this game before it went impossible to find for a while. I really appreciate this game because I feel like a lot more effort went into it than would have been strictly necessary. It's got a full skill tree, it's got really fun animation, it's got like a plot and characters and really cool looking worlds, and it's a actually pretty good workout. I should go back to doing this along with my yoga regimen, and so that I can really bike again as the rain will finally stop, I think, someday. Yeah, great game. If you've been thinking about picking it up, I found it a little bit expensive and I felt like a dork buying it in GameStop because it seemed like the most casual thing to be buying. Like, I only had 2 Switch games and then one of them was essentially Wii Fit, but I ended up being really happy with my purchase and it's very fun. Alright, now we get to the Pokemon games. This video is not brought to you by Box Lunch, who made my shirt, unfortunately. I've been living in their Animal Crossing hoodie that's supposed to be for little kids, and it's just a little bit too small for me, and I just sort of curl into it when I get home from work now. Pokemon games. Of course, as I said, this is a joint collection for me and my boyfriend, so I had Shield, and he had Sword, and it was fun for a minute, and then the plot of the game was so bad. And I really wish there had been a lot more post-game and a little bit more effort put into these games because I think they could have been really, really fun. I got kind of into the post-game, a lot of talking about quarantine, but I actually got really sick a little bit before lockdown, so I ended up playing a ton of Pokemon Sword just while I was stuck in bed with having lost my voice. And so I ended up doing a ton of stuff in Pokemon Sword and honestly getting enough shinies that it stopped being exciting anymore. I think people were hacking the raids. And yeah, this really could have been a ton of fun. Both of them could have, but they just sort of didn't stick the landing, and you could see where all the corners were cut. So I was pretty disappointed all in all with these 2 games, but I did log a lot of time in them. I was surprised. This is the first game that I got. It was bundled with my Switch bundle, which I'm going to show you after we go through the Pokemon games, and I ended up liking it a lot more than I thought. Part of that was because I'm an avid Go player, or at least like on and off way match. So it was fun being able to upload some of my extra Go Pokemon. I ended up completing the Pokedex and doing some shiny hunting that wasn't very successful. And I just thought it was super cute. I'm definitely the target market for it. I ended up buying it for my baby cousin as her introduction to the Pokemon world because I was so disappointed in Sword and Shield. So she has Pokemon Eevee to match, or she has Pokemon Pikachu to match she's a little bit upset about because she prefers Eevee like I do. But you know, I didn't know. I would have grabbed Pokemon Eevee for her if I had known that. So shout out to other Eevee fans. I feel like I can't be disappointed in a game that lets you put Eevee in a hat. And I found this game charming, even though it definitely has its flaws. Again, could have a post-game, that would be fun. I like post-game in Pokemon games. But that's okay. I swear I grabbed both Pokken. Somewhere we have a second copy of Pokken. These games, I thought would be really fun. They're Tekken mixed with Pokemon, but I'm not a big fighting game person, and then this game, makes no real attempt to introduce you in a fun way to the mechanics. It just sort of is like, here, study these mechanics. The one thing that I think would have really improved this is to have a booklet that shows a bunch of the combos so you could just set them in front of you without having to like write them down or look them up on your phone or whatever. So you could just have a little cheat sheet. I think that would have made this game a little bit more beginner friendly, or some kind of more fun tutorial than just like practice the move again. Unfortunately, too, my boyfriend's a seasoned Tekken player, and I grew up on Smash Brothers only, so we couldn't really play together unless I wanted to sit down and study, and that was before I was on lockdown, so it didn't seem as fun. Yeah, if you really like Tekken and Pokemon, and you didn't know this game exists, this is your choice. It is a Wii U port, it's got all the DLC, it looks better than Sword and Shield, so take of that what you want. I think that if I was still in middle school, had a lot more time on my hands, and was kind of that specific type of antsy depressed, I would have loved this game. For now, I'm more into chill games, kind of cozy games, or games that really provide like an adventure, and I don't especially want to like study the competitive. But yeah, if you have friends that you like to compete against, and you want to kind of all team up and get into a new game, this would be really, really great for that. And finally, I've got Legends Arceus. Obviously, I've already covered this game, so I'm not going to talk too much about it, but I was really charmed by it. Again, I didn't like Pokemon Sword and Shield very well, and as much as I liked Let's Go Eevee, it didn't, like, impress me. And this game made me realize how bored I am of some of the turn-based combat in Pokemon games, since I've been playing for, 20 years. So, you know, it was time for a change, I think, for me. And I really liked that about it. I liked roaming the open world, I liked the Pokemon they chose in it, and I liked the vibes, even though some of the animation was on the janky side. It in many ways looked more like it should belong in the indie pile than in the AAA pile, but I love indie games, so, you know, I'm giving it a pass, even though it was very expensive. Alright, so those are my physical games. Now I'm going to show you guys a few of my Switch accessories, because I think a few people are interested, and then a few little odds and ends if you stick with me all the way to the end. First, I want to show you my Switch itself. I do have the Pikachu and Eevee Switch. It is a mess. You can look at my filming setup in its screen, I guess. Yeah, I think it's super cute. It's getting a little scratched up by the dock, but you can see it's got the matte black and then the shiny black Pikachus and Eevees, and then, yeah, the, what did I get on my Joy-Cons? And then the Pikachu and Eevee coloring. It has a dock in the living room that's got Pikachu and Eevee on it and is super, super cute. And then it did come with Pokeball Plus, which is a mess because I used it for a while to play Go, even though it is like playing Pokemon Go on God mode, and I got a bunch of shinies without even noticing them. So, yeah, I also made friends with the neighbor, kinda, and yeah, it's fun. Again, if you like Pokemon Go, Pokemon Let's Go Eevee is a really fun one to pick up, and so is the Pokeball Plus, because, you know, why not beat everyone if you're gonna play, even though it does feel like a massively unfair advantage. Then, I don't feel like showing my Pro Controller right now. My boyfriend and I both have a Pro Controller. Mine has some stickers, and I don't know where I left it. No, I don't feel like hunting it down. You can see it in some of my Let's Plays. You can also see my Animal Crossing cards in my Let's Play of Animal Crossing. But I do have this Tom Nook inspired little game controller. I believe it's off Amazon. My boyfriend got it for me for Christmas, and I have weirdly small hands, so I don't always find the Pro Controller to be the most comfortable, even though the buttons are a lot nicer. So it kind of depends on the game now which one I use. If I'm just playing something like Animal Crossing, any of the cozy games like Spiritfarer or something, I often use this one because it's more comfortable. If I'm playing something like Breath of the Wild or Metroid Dread, I'm probably going to grab my Pro Controller because I like its joystick a lot more. But this is such a cute one. It's the one I take if I'm like bringing the, playing with my little cousin or taking it to someone's house or something. I always grab this one, and it's Tom Nook inspired. I had originally wanted the Snorlax one, but it sold out, so I think this one is just as cute, and I love its little ears. If you are looking for like a second controller on a budget, or if you have really small hands, I would say this one's definitely worth picking up. It works really well. I don't mind its odd rumble, and it is cute and pretty well made for only being like $20-$30. Then to match my Pikachu and Eevee Switch, I have this Pikachu case that was available all over at the time. It's got like a street art inspired Pikachu design on it, and it just opens up to have a place to hold a bunch of Switch games, and it holds the Switch in a little padded pouch, and you can just pull this up to get the Switch in and out. And it works really well for when I used to take it to work, which was 3 jobs ago. Cool. Good choices, self. This case has just been really nice for taking it anywhere it needs to go and not having to worry about it. And it's got a yellow zipper. How cute is that? Then last, and probably least, actually, yeah, last and least, if you've stuck with it this far, you might have seen my YouTube short about this guy, a just absolutely blown out Joy-Con that I found in the gutter. Don't question my goblin impulses. Yeah, it looks really, really awful. I haven't cleaned it at all because I like its sadness. And I don't know its story. There were also shreds of a Switch case. I do live right by a pawn shop, and that would have been where it was from. So, you know, use your imagination. Whatever you think its backstory is, that's what its backstory is. So I just keep this on my setup over there, and it hangs out, and it's my sad, sad little friend. And then back when I had my snail Plumbus, I bought him a bunch of miniatures to pose with, and one is this itsy bitsy Switch Lite. It's nothing on my camera feels like focusing today, but yeah, it's got a little Mario Kart 8 design, and molded plastic, and a tiny little box to go with it. So, thank you if you stuck around to the end. I hope you enjoyed seeing my Switch collection. It's nothing super flashy or super exciting. I did think about waiting to post this game until I had a game I'm waiting on from Limited Run Games, but I thought I would just do another unboxing. If that's something that interests you, be sure to subscribe and keep an eye out for that. I don't know when it's going to come or when I'll be able to get the video out, but it does exist. If you are interested in any more retro content, Switch content, collections, anything like that, I do videos on all kinds of cute gaming stuff, so please stay tuned, check out more stuff, and have a great rest of your day.
I don't wanna live in the real world.